Good evening, all. Today was one of those days when Vim saved me at least half an hour of manual effort and instead made it very fun. And I was thinking that maybe I will start a mini series of just cool edits that might be instructive to some and just fun to others. And this seemed like a prime example for that. So I have abstracted the problem quite a bit. So in my example, it's now about food in order to preserve the integrity of our code base at work. And apparently chocolate is a color as well, so it's getting highlighted. But the idea was that we had this huge object of small-ish components that were all being looked up by the key. And this was great for code structure, but for performance it was really bad, because as soon as you want one of these elements, that means that you have to load them all at once, which means they all got incorporated into the main bundle of the app, and so we needed to lazy load them. And so what I wanted to do was to take each of these components, put them in its own file, and replace the function here with a call to React Lazy to go and get the component. So you can imagine the file I had at work was around 50 of these components, and here I have around 20 of them. And you can imagine that it would be very tedious to do this work one by one. And so I will show you how, with the use of a macro and the argslist, how I'm able to make some of these changes a lot quicker, and it saved me a lot of time. So let's get started. And by the way, I'm definitely not used to talking and typing at the same time, so please bear with me if I make mistakes. But so I jumped into the object, and then I started a macro and went to the beginning of the line. I went forward to the key with W, and I yanked the key into W and changed the function into the E register, like that. And then we're going to do react.lazy. It's going to be an inline function, and we're going to do import dot slash foods slash the component name. We are then going to edit dot slash foods slash the name of the component .tsx, like this. We are going to start by typing const and the name of the function, like that. Then we're gonna paste the E register. We're then gonna go to the end and export default. Again, the name of the function. We're gonna go back twice, and we're gonna search our way forward to the next function marker, like this. And we're gonna stop the macro. And you will notice if I now do at A, that goes ahead and creates the next one, and the next one, and so on. So if I do 5 at A, you can see 3 at A, 2 at A, maybe 3 left, 2 left, and at A finally. So we did them all. I'm also quickly going to be orderly and remove all empty lines, like that. And also in here, I'm going to do a quick sort to make it nice and ordered. And I'm going to write all the files, like that. Now after that, I'm actually going to quit Vim, and I'm going to run Vim again, but now I'm going to pass it the argument of foods slash star, like this. And what that does is it gives me the argslist of all those food files, which means that if I type :next, I never do this by the way, but it takes me to the next file in the list, like this. By the way, I'm gonna set fold level to 8 or something to just avoid seeing any more of those folds. But you can see next next I can go to all these files. But we notice there are some issues. First of all, I'm seeing an issue here that in some of the files, the export keyword is not outside of my function. And so to first fix that, I'm going to do an argdo command. And it's going to be a normal command. And we're going to find the export like this. And we are going to delete it and put it at the last line like this. Which now hopefully should have solved that one case when it wasn't correct. I'm also going to, in the same way, add a space above it, like this. So there's an empty space in between. And while I'm at it, I'm also just going to run prettier on the foods folder, which should have put the export in the right position. But as you notice, there are some issues because meal instructions and the div are not being included. So we need to go back out to foods because here is where those imports are. And they are also no longer used in here. By the way, I also forgot to add this type here earlier for my example, but it should be record spring to food generator like this. Anyways, we need to include these two imports in all the other files. And so the way I did that was to go to the beginning here and add another // so that it fits the folder structure in the other functions. I also spaced them out because in our code base it's common to have a space between library imports and other imports. And then I yanked these 4 lines. And then again, argdo, norm, dg, and paste on top. So that now should have added all these imports on all the pages. And I can write them all again. This. So now these files are looking good. And all I need to do is to remove the meal instructions import in here. And now all the files are now located inside each of their own file. I can go to them and we can see that all of them are now in their own files, ready to be lazy loaded. And so this one took me a lot longer this time because I was talking at the same time. But literally, this only took me a couple of minutes and saved me so much time. Especially when I realized that we had this pattern in multiple places in our code base and had to do it 2 or 3 times in one day. So getting good at these tools can really help you save some time, and at least it's more fun, even if it takes the same amount of time. Spoken like a true nerd. Thank you very much for watching and have a pleasant day.